Hello everyone, this is TeleviCat, Televi for short. Today I'm gonna make a video that I've been trying to make for a long time, but I haven't been able to figure out a good layout and something that would be enjoyable for you guys to watch. But I think I figured out a good way to make this video. In the Who is TeleviCat video, I mentioned that I've been studying art for quite a while. Well, as of now, I've almost been studying art and crafts and sculpture for almost 5 years. But you guys haven't gotten to see a whole lot of that. You guys haven't gotten to see basically anything that I do, more than in the few snippets where I show some of my works. But I want to make a video showing some of the stuff that I've made, because I've had quite the sculpture journey, I'll tell you. So I'm mainly gonna show you sculptures and stuff in this video. Maybe in another one I'll make more traditional artworks, such as, marker drawings, aquarelle paintings, acrylic paintings and stuff like that. But I want to show you guys some of my sculptures. And I'm gonna start with some of my first and earlier works of art, and then I'm gonna go forward until present time. I'm not gonna show you all of them, because we would be here for a very long time. So I'm just gonna show you some of the sculptures that are the most significant to my growth and development as an artist. Back in the day I didn't have the confidence to call myself an artist, but at this point, after studying art for almost 5 years and been actively selling works of art for a long time now, I can confidently say now, I'm an artist. Take it or leave it. But anyway, let's get to showing you some of the sculptures, and we're gonna start with some of my earlier works. This little pink girl sculpture is important because it's one of the first sculptures that I've made that has like a ready-made, recycled art kind of feel to it. And when I made this one, I made an entire series with colors from the rainbow. So yeah, I'm gonna show you what those look like, but this was the first one in that series. Okay, so why is this red little cylinder cat important? Because this is one of the first sculptures where I started making more recycled art that weren't, little rainbow girls or whatever. I was very comfortable with doing that, and this is me trying something new. And I was very pleased with it when I was making this, and this was one of my proudest and cutest little sculptures that I've made. It's still one of my favorites. So far the sculptures have been pretty cute, but this popsicle stick springtrap sculpture is not cute. This is the first time I've decided to make a sculpture that looks like Springtrap. It was really hard, it was a real pain, and I burned myself on the glue gun many times. But the next time I decided to make a sculpture that looks like Springtrap, it was when I discovered Super Sculpey. And I'm gonna show you what that sculpture looks like right now. When I finished the Super Sculpey Springtrap sculpture, I could almost not believe that I'd made it myself. I was so shocked that I somehow was able to make something this detailed. So this made me get the idea that, I should make more Five Nights at Freddy's themed sculptures and really challenge myself. And that's the sculptures that I'm gonna show you after this one. Now first I wanted to challenge myself with Toy Bonnie to make a animatronic character with a very detailed face, because I knew that was gonna require a lot of painting and a lot of precision, so that's why I chose to make Toy Bonnie, and also because he has a very simple body, so it's like if you see his face and you see his body, you already know immediately who it is. And I also decided to make the guitar for him. Now with my Nightmare On, I wanted to challenge myself, like building wise, I guess you could say, because my Nightmare On is a very skinny, very difficult character to make, which is why when I'm displaying him, as you can see, he's standing leaning up against another little thingy. Now I've made one more Five Nights at Freddy's themed sculpture, and I'm saving that one for last because it is my most proudest creation that I have. I'm pretty sure that out of all of my Super Sculpey creations, this is the one that I'm the most proud of. This is Ennard from Sister Location, and I know that the body looks very metallic, but don't let that fool you. That's only metallic spray painted Super Sculpey. Every single little bit of his spaghettiness, it's Super Sculpey. It's one of the hardest sculptures that I've ever made, but it has turned out the best. I think that this is my favorite creation out of all Super Sculpey sculptures that I've ever made. Out of all Super Sculpey sculptures that I've made with my own design, this has to be one of my favorites also, because of how detailed it looks, and with the little fingers, the eye, the expression, just everything. Even though I made this quite some time ago, it's still one of my favorites. Now this guy is pretty important because this is one of the first ceramic sculptures that I have ever made. It's not any of my best work in terms of the sculptures that I've made now, but it still holds a special place in my heart. I've come up with a fun game. Take a shot every time I say Super Sculpey Sculpture. No, but in all seriousness, this is the biggest Super Sculpey creation that I've made so far. It has a lot of cracks in it, and it has definitely seen better days, but I learned a lot from making this one, so yeah. Now this little guy is important because this is one of my first ceramic kitty sculptures, and this was at the start when I realized that I wanted to make sculptures related to cats mostly. So this was a pretty important moment. All of the earlier ceramic cat sculptures that I've had have been since sold, so but this is the earliest one that I have on hand right now. Now this guy is very important because I made this little sculpture when I was experimenting with ceramic clay more and figuring out how crazy I could make the cats and how much I could pressure the material until it just fell apart and broke. And so far, this is the craziest cat that I've been able to create without the legs collapsing, so this is a really fun one. This is a sculpture that I made when my teachers said that, hey, you should make something bigger than you usually do. So this is the result of that. Throughout the entire process of making this until it came out of the glaze oven, I was paranoid and worried, but when it came out, I was actually very pleased with the result. Now, why is this little white, thin cat any important? Because it is my first casted sculpture. And when I realized that casting was a thing and I got to try it out, it's so much fun, and I've been having a lot of fun with that mold in particular. I've made so many casts from that one. It's insane. It's such an important sculpture. I wanted to challenge myself and make a big casted mold to cast in. I thought it was going to be the same process as with a smaller one, but it is definitely not. I learned that it is really hard and I can't cast this cat without help from somebody else. It is that difficult. Getting this one done was a miracle in itself. I learned a lot from this though. Also, here is a bonus clip to show you the size of the mold that was necessary to make that big cat. It is huge. This is a special kitty sculpture because this is a super sculpey sculpture that I've made after I was at a cat exhibit at Forshaga in Sweden. And it was a really interesting and very inspiring experience. So that's when I made this guy. Now, why is this little sculpture important? Because this is my first really small miniature sculpture. It uses Super Sculpey as the mushroom, and then that's an actual glass jar with a cork lid. It turned out really well, and I'm very happy that I made it because I'll probably make more miniatures in the future. Now, why is this ghost sculpture any important? Because it is the first time that I have tried dyeing Super Sculpey, and it turned out really well. It only got one air bubble in it, but it's not really that visible unless you're looking for air bubbles. But other than that, I'm very pleased with the sculpture, and it was made during the week when I was teaching a Super Sculpey course at my art school. So this is a very special one. This pink frosting cat with sprinkles on its hands and its feet and also on the tip of its tail. It is my first needle felt, so it's not that clean and not that polished, but it is my first creation, so yeah. Then I'm gonna move on to show you my more recent creations, which is a little collection of Five Nights at Freddy's themed needle felted heads that have a round foam ball as a base. I made a Shadow Bonnie head, Toy Chica, Toy Bonnie, and a Funtime Freddy head. I plan on making more heads from maybe other franchises and stuff like that, or maybe more Five Nights at Freddy's heads. So I plan on selling these little heads at the future Artist Alley at some point. So yeah, they're both very important creations. Alright, so that's all of the most significant sculptures that I've made in my sculpture journey to become the person and the artist that I am today. I hope this video wasn't too long and that it was still somewhat enjoyable for you to watch. I hope you like some of my work, and if you want to see more of my sculptures and if you want me to make another video where I share them, I can definitely do that, because boy howdy, there was a lot of sculptures that I had to skip in order to not make this video more than an hour long, you know. There are a lot of sculptures that I made that are also significant to my development as an artist and as a sculptor, but I had to skip them because I didn't want to make this video too long, you know. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, let me know and I can definitely make sure that that gets made. Now, have a good day and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye! Woohoo!